Welcome to buyingyournexthome.com. My name is Thomas Arbuckle and I'm with Next Home Premier Properties in Folsom.
And I'm Bronwyn Arbuckle with Guild Mortgage.
We hope you enjoy the video content that we put together. We're going to continuously be building more and more, so keep coming back.
Enjoy the videos.
Hi guys, welcome to Next Home Premier Properties here in Folsom. We're getting together today to go over the home buying process and the necessary steps to acquiring a home loan. I've got Bronwyn Arbuckle from Guild Mortgage. Say hi, Bronwyn.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
No problem. So normally we would meet with you folks in person at our office, but obviously we're during COVID, and so we have to do things a little different these days. So normally we meet clients various ways. We get them through referrals or their walk-ins to our office, or if you're joining us from our website, we would meet you this way. Today we wanted to go over the first step, which is the home pre-approval process to get a home loan. Bronwyn, why don't you touch on the need and the priority for getting pre-approved in today's market?
Sure, absolutely, I'd be happy to. There's a definite need to get pre-approved. Essentially, that's going to show you and your realtor what you're qualified to purchase. That way you're not out looking at homes that ultimately you're not going to be able to qualify for, because nothing's worse than finding a home that you love and then going into contract on it and finding out that you can't even afford it. So we definitely want to avoid that. Also, it shows the sellers, when you go to submit an offer, that you've been fully vetted and that they can have confidence that the transaction is going to go through.
Thanks for touching on those points. I wanted to add one other thing. We can't even in today's market submit an offer for purchase without proof of funds, like if the person's paying cash and or if they're doing a conventional home loan, we have to show proof that there's a pre-approval or we can't even submit the offer. So thanks for clarifying all that. The next part of the home buying process that goes on is the consultation to find out what's needed from our clients. So we want to find out what areas they want to live in. We want to find out what type of home they want to buy. Is it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or does it need a pool, or is there a specific school district? Those are all important points that we discover early on in the process. Don't know if you wanted to add to that.
No, I mean, obviously it's very, very important to know what you want in this process. You know, buying a home, it's the largest financial transaction of your life, essentially. So you really want to know where you stand and know what you want.
Good. All valid. Setting expectations is super important. Everybody's talked to somebody from other generations where they can remember when the price of bread was a quarter or going to a movie was 50 cents. The same thing goes in home buying. What prices were a year ago are not what's reflective of today's market. For example, home buying in the Folsom area, some homes have jumped between $50,000 and $75,000 just since COVID has began, because the scarcity of homes of today's needs. So it's kind of interesting. So we really want to take the time to find out what the price point is in today's market and compare it to that pre-approval, so that the expectations of our buyers can be reflective of what's available out there. We don't want anybody to be disillusioned or upset when they think they can buy one thing and in reality they actually can't, or they can, quite frankly.
Absolutely. Yeah, setting expectations up front it sets everybody up in the transaction for a much smoother process. And ultimately, isn't that what we all want? Is just a smooth process and happy homeowners at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So usually what happens after that, so we've got our pre-approval, we've got our expectations in line, we have our needs list of what the client wants. The next thing is to start searching for homes. And so I do that on my end as the realtor, and you as a client get to participate in that as well. If you notice on our website, we have 2 different things you can search for. You can actually search for homes, or you can find the value of your current home if you're trying to sell a home and maybe upsize, or if you're a new buyer or a first-time buyer, as they call it. This gives you the luxury to hunt with us, because in this market is quite interesting. There's not very many homes on the market currently. So we could look at the same list over and over with the same criteria for a week or two, and it may not change a whole lot. Definitely homes will go into contract, but you won't see a new inventory occur. And then all of a sudden, you may find 1, 2, 3, 4 homes that come on the market within a 24-hour period of time. And so between the team of agents on my side and also our clients searching, we're definitely going to have a leg up because we're constantly looking at what's happening in the market because it is very fluid.
And that's really an important point to touch on, is staying fully connected with what's happening in the market, because houses come and houses go, and you definitely don't want to miss them, especially when you're in a competitive market like we are right now.
Absolutely. So what typically happens is we'll put together a list of approximately 20 homes for you guys to review in the convenience of your own home. And through that 15, 20 homes, depending on what's happening in any given week, then you're going to narrow that down to maybe 5 to 7 homes that you'd like to take a look at. We'll go ahead and set up tours as fast as humanly possible. We'll go visit those homes. And after we visit those homes, you're going to know right away, is there a home in there that you can see that's going to be something you'd be willing to purchase? If that's the case, we're going to go ahead and aggressively write an offer. So with going down that pathway, the offer is pretty straightforward. We know what you're basically approved for. We know the home is what you need and want, and there might be some certain criteria that you want in the offer. I'm going to go ahead and type that up on standard forms. Going to go ahead and email those over to you via DocuSign. You're going to go ahead and review the contract, and we're going to basically go over the different points until you fully understand. Once you fully understand all those points, there's different buttons on the page to click. You're not going to be using pen and paper anymore. We're pretty sophisticated these days. So you go ahead and do this via your email. You're going to go ahead and sign. If you have a spouse or any other people on the purchase, they're going to go ahead and sign as well. And then we're going to send it over to the listing agent, the person representing the sellers of the home, for their review. Once they get that, there's going to be 3 basic outcomes. The first outcome is the one we want, which is approved and accepted offer. The second thing would be a counteroffer where they're going to have different terms. Maybe they want a little bit more money. Maybe there's some other points to the contract that they would want to change or add to. And then the third is not approved and they went with another buyer. That's an unfortunate situation, but in this market, it is occurring regularly. Some homes have 10 to 20 offers on one piece of property. So you have to get used to that competitiveness in this market. So let's just go with, you got the accepted offer. So from that point, we have an accepted offer. This is when the work begins. Bronwyn, why don't you tell us a little bit what goes on during this process?
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we're formally in contract on a property, this is where the actual process to obtain the home loan starts. This is when we're going to regroup. We may need to get some updated documents from you, pay stubs, things like that. That's also when we're going to order the appraisal, because obviously the lender, they want to make sure that they're not loaning money on something that isn't worth what we think it is. This is also going to be where you may want some inspections done on the property. And Tom, if you wanted to touch on those when I'm done talking, you certainly can. Basically, we're going to work on the back end to get the file buttoned up to get into the underwriter so that they can review and hopefully approve your application.
Okay, I'll take the time to touch on inspections. So during this process, as Bronwyn's working with the team to get your loan approved, we're going to get various inspections that I'll go over with you once we get to that point. We want to see if the house is generally sound, if there's any dry rot from moisture, if there's any mechanical problems with like dishwashers or plumbing systems or the heating and air conditioning system. We want to make sure you're buying a solid home. And if there are some deficiencies, we want to know what those deficiencies are so that we can negotiate the price. Just because let's say we offered $450 for a home and we determined that there's maybe $15,000 worth of damage. We can handle that one of two ways. We can have the seller fix those things, or we can reduce the price of the home depending on the deficiency. And the client may want to take care of that after the home has been purchased and the keys have been given to us. So those inspections are done in the very early part of the period of escrow, and it's there to protect you so that your eyes are wide open on what your home quality is and how sound of a home it is, because things look really beautiful when you visit them, but when you have a trained inspector combing through the property, they find stuff, and we just want to know what those things are ahead of time so that we can address it and or negotiate a better price. So go ahead and continue on with the loan process, Bronwyn.
Sure, absolutely. That was a great explanation of inspections, Tom. So good job on that. So back to the escrow process on the lender's end, we're also going to be doing things like reaching out to your employer to verify your income and employment, things like that. So basically we want to get a full package in before we send it to the underwriter, because we don't want them needlessly kicking the file back to us because we were missing some sort of a document. Then at that point, basically, the underwriter is going to do what we call conditionally approve your file, your application request. Basically, what that means is essentially they have a list of items that need to get completed. And once those items are completed, they'll then re-review the file and fully sign off on it. Once that happens, that's going to allow our closing department to draw up your loan documents and send them over to the title company for you to sign. Once those documents are signed by you, the buyer, they then come back to us in the lending area, and essentially we fund the loan. Once the loan funds, the title company will request the county to record you as the new homeowner. Once that happens, you get the keys to your new home.
That's exciting. That's our favorite part, by the way. It's a process. I mean, we've simplified it through this Zoom meeting today. We wanted to touch on the major points. The truth of the matter is there are things that come up, but we do have a competent team. There's many people behind the scenes that are working on your purchase. Bronwyn and myself are the front people on it. So I'm typically going to be your agent, or one of my team members is going to be helping you with the purchase part. Bronwyn and her team is going to be working diligently to get the loan approved. But the long and the short of it is the team is competent, and we will get through these steps. We can go over other things with other videos, the do's and don'ts of when you're in the home buying process, but that's for another video. But the point we're trying to do today is just make it more comfortable for you so that you can see the process. We're real people. We're real local people. We're not some company on the internet 3,000 miles away processing your transaction. We live in the community that we service, and we want to help people get into homes. And we know that with our team and our in-house lending and real estate agreement, we can get the goal of your home purchase taken care of.
Absolutely. We're definitely here to service you. And like we said before at the onset of this, we're here to get you into your new home. Nothing makes us happier.
Well, thank you, Bronwyn, for joining me from your office at Guild Mortgage in Roseville. We're going to sign off now, and hopefully we get to talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely, Tom. Thank you so much for having me today. It was a pleasure.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for another video at buyingyournexthome.com.
Feel free to leave your contact information on our website or follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.